How to hide weakness and show strength. Machiavelli's dark secret. I have observed men for a lifetime. I have watched princes fall not because they were weak, but because they allowed weakness to be seen. I have seen others rise not because they were virtuous, but because they appeared unbreakable. Understand this first, before anything else. Power does not answer to truth. Power answers to perception. Men do not follow what is real. They follow what appears inevitable. If you wish to survive among men, you must learn this art. Not the art of becoming strong, but the art of appearing strong even when you are not. Because weakness, once revealed, is never forgiven. The world is not gentle with the exposed. A man who displays his doubts invites domination. A leader who reveals his fear invites rebellion. A ruler who seeks sympathy is already defeated. I tell you this not as theory, but as confession. I have sat in rooms where smiles concealed betrayal. I have watched men nod in agreement while sharpening knives behind their eyes. And I learned that nothing invites destruction faster than visible vulnerability. The naive believe honesty is strength. The wise understand restraint is survival. To hide weakness is not deception. It is defense. Because men do not attack what they cannot read. The first illusion of power. Let us begin with a harsh truth. No man is ever as strong as he wishes to appear. Every ruler doubts. Every general fears loss. Every strategist questions his judgment in silence. But the difference between the ruler and the ruled is this. The ruler never lets the doubt escape his face. Men assume strength is loud. They are mistaken. True authority speaks slowly, moves deliberately, reveals little. The loud man compensates. The defensive man exposes himself. The man who explains too much confesses insecurity. Strength does not demand to be believed. It expects obedience. If you must convince others you are strong, you already are not. Why weakness must never be confessed. There is a dangerous lie whispered to men. That vulnerability builds trust. This is only true among equals. Never among rivals. Never among subordinates. Never among those who benefit from your fall. When you reveal weakness, you offer information. And information is currency. A man who knows where you hesitate knows where to press. A man who sees your fear knows how to command you. A man who hears your doubts begins to imagine your replacement. Men do not protect the weak. They use them. Even those who appear kind will unconsciously lose respect for you. Respect does not survive pity. Once lost, it cannot be negotiated back. The silent language of strength. Strength is not declared. It is felt. It lives in posture, not words. In pauses, not explanations. In certainty, not emotion. When you speak, speak as if you have already decided. When you move, move as if you cannot be stopped. When challenged, respond as though the outcome was never in doubt. Hesitation is visible. Fear leaks through tone. Insecurity announces itself in over-justification. The strong man does not argue to win approval. He speaks as one whose approval is irrelevant. And so men align themselves to him. The mask is not a lie. Some will accuse you of deceit. They will say, is this not falsehood? They will say, should a man not be authentic? They ask this because they have never held power. A mask is not a lie. A mask is a filter. Just as armor hides flesh, the mask hides weakness. Would you accuse armor of dishonesty? The world is not owed your inner turmoil. Your fears are private. Your doubts are internal. Your weaknesses are yours alone. To expose them publicly is not courage. It is recklessness. The first rule of concealment. Never complain upward. Never confess downward. Never reveal sideways. Complaining upward marks you as incapable. Confessing downward dissolves authority. Revealing sideways arms your rivals. If you must unburden yourself, do so in solitude. Or better still, do not. Men who endure silently command respect without effort. How men test for weakness. Understand this. Men are always testing you. They test with jokes, with subtle insults, with small disobediences, with casual disrespect disguised as humor. These are not accidents. They are probes. If you react emotionally, they press further. If you explain yourself, they smell blood. If you seek validation, they mark you. But if you remain composed, measured, unmoved, they retreat. Not because you shouted, but because you did not need to. The dangerous urge to be liked. Many leaders fall not from cruelty, but from kindness. They seek to be liked. They soften decisions. They explain themselves excessively. This reveals fear of rejection. And fear is weakness. You are not required to be liked. You are required to be respected. Affection is temporary. Respect endures. A ruler loved but not feared is at the mercy of mood. A ruler respected but not loved commands stability. The beginning of true strength. To hide weakness, you must first accept it privately. Denying weakness makes it leak. Acknowledging it allows control. Strength is not the absence of fear. It is the discipline of concealment. You will feel doubt. You will feel fear. You will feel exhaustion. But you will not display them. Because the world responds not to what you feel, but to what you show. Remember this. Power is theater. Authority is performance. And survival belongs to those who master appearance. The discipline of silence and control. Silence is the first weapon of strength. Men fear what they cannot read. They distrust what they cannot predict. And they obey what refuses to explain itself. A man who speaks constantly reveals himself piece by piece. A man who restrains his words becomes opaque. And opacity creates authority. I learned this early. Those who spoke the most in court were not the most powerful. They were the most anxious. The powerful waited. They listened. They allowed others to fill the space with their own insecurity. Silence forces men to expose themselves. Why words betray the weak. Every unnecessary word is a leak. Men speak too much when they fear misunderstanding. They justify when they fear judgment. They elaborate when they fear disbelief. But the strong assume understanding. They assume compliance. They assume the outcome. When you answer briefly, others assume depth. When you pause before responding, others assume calculation. When you do not rush to explain, others assume confidence. Silence creates gravity. Men lean toward it. The power of the unfinished thought. Never say everything. Leave sentences incomplete. Leave intentions unclear. Leave motives ambiguous. Men fear what they must guess. If you reveal your full plan, you invite interference. If you reveal your full position, you allow opposition to form. If you reveal your full emotion, you surrender leverage. Mystery is not confusion. It is control. Those who cannot read you cannot manipulate you. Emotional discipline as dominance. Emotion is not weakness, but uncontrolled emotion is surrender. Anger reveals where you can be provoked. Fear reveals where you can be pressured. Excitement reveals where you can be exploited. The disciplined man feels deeply but shows little. He allows no one access to his internal state. Not because he is cold, but because he is strategic. Men who cannot provoke you feel smaller in your presence. The false strength of aggression. Many mistake aggression for power. They raise their voice. They interrupt. They threaten. They dominate space. This is not strength. This is exposure. Aggression reveals insecurity. It announces that control is slipping. The truly strong do not escalate. They let others exhaust themselves. A calm man facing an angry one always appears superior. How control makes others unravel. When you remain composed, others compensate. They speak more. They reveal motives. They contradict themselves. You learn without asking. You gain advantage without effort. This is why silence unnerves men. They fear what you may be thinking. Never defend yourself unnecessarily. Defense implies accusation. If you rush to clear your name, you suggest guilt. If you rush to justify your actions, you suggest doubt. If you rush to explain your intentions, you suggest weakness. The strong man does not correct every assumption. He allows time to validate him. Truth that must be defended constantly is fragile. Truth that stands silently becomes solid. Commanding without commanding. True authority does not issue orders loudly. It makes others want to align. When you speak calmly and decisively, men adjust. When you act without urgency, men follow. When you do not chase approval, men offer it. Power moves quietly. Silence is not emptiness. It is pressure. Control is not stiffness. It is mastery. Distance, reputation, and the architecture of strength. Power weakens when it becomes familiar. Closeness breeds comfort. Comfort breeds contempt. This is why rulers fall when they become approachable. Men respect what they cannot touch freely. Distance creates elevation. Why access is never free. Every moment of access reduces perceived value. A man who is always available appears disposable. A leader who responds instantly appears subordinate to demand. A ruler who explains himself to everyone appears uncertain. Scarcity creates importance. You must be seen, but not reachable. Known, but not familiar. Selective visibility. Do not disappear. Disappear strategically. Appear when it matters. Withdraw when it does not. Men assume absence means preparation. They assume silence means calculation. They assume delay means strategy. Never correct these assumptions. Let them grow. The art of letting others speak for you. The strongest reputation is not spoken by you. It is spoken about you. Praise self-delivered is worthless. Fear self-declared is laughable. But when others describe you as decisive, capable, dangerous, or unyielding, those qualities solidify. Allow others to define your strength. You simply embody consistency. Never chase clarity. Confusion unsettles hierarchy. When men are unsure of your limits, they hesitate. When they are unsure of your tolerance, they restrain themselves. When they are unsure of your intentions, they comply cautiously. Clarity invites testing. Ambiguity prevents it. The myth of total transparency. Transparency is praised by those who lack power. Those who rule understand that opacity protects authority. A visible system can be gamed. A predictable man can be defeated. Reveal outcomes, not process. Decisions, not deliberation. Results, not doubts. Distance as a form of fear. Fear does not require cruelty. It requires unpredictability. Men must never know how far you are willing to go. The moment they think they understand you fully, you lose leverage. How to recover from exposed weakness. If weakness is revealed, do not panic. Do not overcorrect. Do not explain. Do not apologize excessively. Respond with consistency. Time buries exposure when behavior contradicts it. Strength is not never falling. It is rising without spectacle. The quiet final truth. Men do not submit to force alone. They submit to presence, to consistency, to inevitability. Hide weakness not to deceive others, but to preserve order. Show strength not to dominate, but to stabilize. Mercy, restraint, and the highest form of strength. There is a mistake many make when they begin to understand power. They believe strength must always be harsh. That authority must always be rigid. That fear alone sustains control. This is an incomplete understanding. Cruelty is easy. Restraint is difficult. And difficulty is what makes it powerful. True strength is revealed not when you punish, but when you could punish and choose not to. Why mercy can be more terrifying than force. When a weak man shows mercy, it is desperation. When a strong man shows mercy, it is dominance. Mercy unsettles men. They expect anger. They prepare for retaliation. They brace for consequence. And when it does not come, they are left unsure. Uncertainty breeds obedience. A man forgiven by power feels watched forever. Restraint signals control. The undisciplined man reacts immediately. The strong man delays. Delay implies options. Options imply strength. When you do not rush to punish, men assume calculation. When you do not lash out, men assume confidence. When you do not escalate, men assume you do not need to. Restraint is not weakness. It is surplus power. Calculated kindness as strategy. Kindness must never be emotional. Uncontrolled generosity cheapens authority. Predictable mercy invites exploitation. But selective kindness binds loyalty. Reward quietly. Protect discreetly. Assist without spectacle. Men repay what they believe they cannot demand. And they remember who spared them when it was unnecessary. Never appear dependent on gratitude. Do not remind others of what you have done for them. Do not demand appreciation. Do not seek acknowledgement. The moment you require gratitude, you confess need. Power gives without counting. Those who receive feel the imbalance. When strength must harden, mercy without boundaries decays into weakness. There are moments when leniency invites rebellion. When this happens, correction must be decisive, swift, limited, final. Punish once, clearly, and without emotion. Never repeatedly. Never dramatically. Never personally. Let consequence appear mechanical. Men fear systems more than tempers. The final test of strength. The ultimate proof of strength is this. You do not need to remind others of it. Your presence stabilizes. Your silence commands. Your absence is felt. Men adjust their behavior around you instinctively. This is dominance without display. The quiet law of power. Listen carefully now, because this is the truth men spend their lives avoiding. Power is not loud. It is not emotional. It is not honest in the way the naive imagine honesty. Power is disciplined appearance. You hide weakness not because you are ashamed of it, but because the world is ruthless with exposure. You show strength not through aggression, but through composure, restraint, and consistency. Men obey what feels inevitable. They respect what cannot be read easily. They follow what does not seek their approval. Do not reveal everything you feel. Do not explain everything you do. Do not respond to every provocation. Let silence speak. Let distance elevate. Let reputation travel ahead of you. Be seen, but not known. Be present, but not accessible. Be calm, especially when others are not. This is how weakness dissolves. Not by elimination, but by concealment. Not by denial, but by control. And when men look at you and cannot tell where your limits are, they will place them far beyond what you ever need to prove. That is strength. And that is how it endures.